Hey, good morning, San Diego. Welcome to another episode of Lifestyles. I'm really excited for today's show. Today, I go out in the marketplace with some great interviews with great people, and you're also going to see Jen Morris, our co-host, doing the same thing. We're going to explore some of the fun stuff, the social scenes, the new restaurants, but also the business side of things, the real estate market. A lot of great information, a lot of fun today. Here comes another episode of Lifestyles right now. So here we are in Adams Avenue in Normal Heights. What an amazing area of San Diego. Tons of culture. There's antique shops, artist shops, there's coffee shops, restaurants, really cool area. Well, this is a place, Lestat's, a lot of people go and they get work done, they have political conversations, and we were invited in by political professor Rick Epps. This guy's been teaching all over San Diego. He speaks on all local news channels. He's big online as well. So we're gonna go sit down with Rick, learn a little bit about this area, and get some political points of view from one of the best neutral, rational guys you'll ever meet on the topic. Let's go inside. So here we are out at Lestat's in Normal Heights, which is one of the coolest areas out in San Diego. We're joining our good friend, political analyst, and the political professor, Rick Epps. Rick, thanks for having us out, man.
Hey man, it's great to be out here in Normal Heights, man, hanging out with the people and hanging out here at Lestat's, one of my favorite places. Great coffee, great desserts, man. You can get anything you want here.
So I've known Rick for quite some time. Rick, you are the political professor. You're seen all over different news channels here in San Diego, and you're still teaching.
Yep.
So you're still educating people. But before we get into those politics, right, let's talk about this area. So this is Normal Heights. This is where a lot of people come. I mean, here we are in the middle of the day, laptops, people listening to music. I even saw someone watching Olympic highlights earlier. Kind of a cool area to do that.
Yeah, it's amazing how this area in the last probably 10 years or so has really evolved, especially in this area here in Adams, where they've, a lot of new restaurants. There's a lot of old restaurants that have been redone. Like Lestat's has been here as an institution. But it's a really kind of cool, hip vibe. They've got some antique shops down the way. Just a real mix of all kinds of interesting people around, which is great. I mean, it's just everything's within walking distance for people that live in the neighborhood. You got Kensington down the road, Talmadge, Normal Heights here, City Heights down the road, South Park down, North Park here. It's awesome. This neighborhood has really come along from when I was growing up here.
Tons of culture.
Absolutely.
All those little areas you just named are all very different.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, South Park is up and coming.
Yeah.
North Park's got that hipster feel. Kensington, the real estate out there is on
it's
fire.
crazy,
I mean,
crazy.
7-figure properties out there.
Oh yeah.
And nothing cookie cutter. I think our chairs are.
Oh yeah, this is what I love. It's all
our thrones here today.
Exactly. It's all funky but kind of cool and hip. That's what I love about the area. All people from all walks of life, young, old, artists, musicians. Everybody's here. People write books sitting here, just kind of hanging out. Art on the walls you can buy.
So I've always appreciated about you is even as a teacher and a professor, you've claimed to be politically agnostic. What do you mean by that?
I mean, regardless of my own personal view about politics, my thing is I don't really believe in selling one side or the other. I don't believe in looking at it from what does being a liberal or what does being a conservative really mean. Really, it's about the consciousness of people and making sure that in the political realm, because there is so much minutia, right, that people get enough information to make good decisions. And it's funny because when I'm on, like my friends who are very liberal think I'm too conservative, and my conservative friends think I'm too liberal. And I said, well, that's good because my job is not to sell you on one or the other. However, if there's something going on that needs to be dealt with, I'm not going to shy away from giving you some hard truth either.
Sure. You
may not like that truth, but I'm going to give it to you because there's no way you're going to be able to make a good decision without knowing it. You can do what you want with it, and you may not like it, but I'm going to give it to you because that's the only way you can be an informed voter, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's our civic duty.
But when you teach, what age group are you teaching?
Anywhere from 18 to, I have students as old as 50 and 60 years old, but mostly the 18 to 24.
And what's their pulse of all of this?
Most kids in college tend to be a little bit more on the liberal side of things, just in terms of how they perceive the world. But again, because I spend a lot of time really just trying to get them to figure that out for themselves, or just being comfortable with being an independent, or I call it an agnostic, right?
Yeah.
Because it really, in fact, what we've seen in the last 2 decades or more is that the trend for people is to become not affiliated with either political party. People are very disenchanted with both sides of the aisle.
Trump's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of them are becoming independents, and which begs the notion of a third party. If we ever had a viable third party, because both the other parties have sold their soul to corporate interest, and the lobbyists.
There's just too many issues that can be talked about. There's thousands of issues that we can talk about to be able to be put in one box or the other. And I think this election of any shows that there's a real need for a third party.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump, the interesting thing about him is conservatives don't like him either. As much as people think that he's this Republican candidate, conservatives have a real problem with him. So what do you think happens between now and November? It's already been a wild ride, but I mean, I think the best or the worst is still ahead of us.
Well, this is going to be interesting because they've got to train Trump if they're going to. I mean, well, that's the thing. I think it's going to be tough for them because his ego is so big that it's hard to tame a person who thinks he's successful. He's done it all by himself. The interesting thing, the Koch brothers have said that they're done with him. They're the billionaires. They usually shove $1 billion into the Republican coffers.
Wow.
They're not even. They say they're going to focus on the congressional races. And so, if a lot of the big donors have said we're not dealing with him, we want to deal with winning the seats in Congress.
But I think it's sad that it's so reliant upon donors.
Yeah.
I mean, I know somebody who's running for Congress right now, and the first thing she had to do was start raising money. And every context of every message has to do with raising money. And it's nothing against her, but I think it speaks to some of the flaws that we have in politics.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And yeah, it becomes and then if it takes over your life, because in order to get that money, you have to come out of even some things that you may actually believe yourself in order to get the money. So
exactly.
The question is, are you really representing yourself, or are you representing the interest of someone or some entity, right? And that's where the problem comes in. And then you look at the media's play in that. The media is just as culpable, if you ask me, to be honest, because they're not concerned with getting things right. They're concerned with how much they can get in terms of viewership.
So what do you predict between now and November?
Well, again, I think you're going to see them they have to get Trump prepped. Again, I think it's going to be very difficult for them. So let's talk about the Trump side. So he's going to have to win some friends that he's alienated on the rights. The Republicans are never going to love him, but they have to figure out how to live with him, right? Yep. And then on the Hillary side, she's still working on her image. I mean, her VP candidate is not that sexy. In terms of what people thought.
Don't you think that both of them botched their VP choice?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Both of them.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, neither one of them is like, wow. At least you picked somebody who could, bring something to your campaign. Because normally, the way the presidential race works is that whatever position the main candidate has, they try to get a VP who broadens the base. Yep. And one of the things I mentioned to you before, I thought if Hillary were smart, she would have got a Hispanic male. And I still stick by that, by the way. And there was a couple she was looking at, because that would have broadened the base for her in terms of people she could have captured more on the populist Democrat side. And Trump needed somebody who was going to bring him a little bit more left of center from his rhetoric. Now, he may really be left of center himself anyway, but in truth, in order to capture more of the moderate Republicans, he needed a candidate that was going to be able to do that.
That's where I thought he was going to go.
Yeah, and he did. He went with
right.
Somebody who went further right, which he's further isolating himself and isolating his party from the more moderate mainstream,
that
which some of them are looking.
That might get back to the hardcore base and the donors that we were talking about earlier.
Well, some of them are actually going to Hillary's side. Some of the moderate conservatives are already looking at Hillary and saying, well, you know what? We'll live with her. We can live with her because, let's be honest, Hillary's economic policies tend to resonate more on the conservative side anyway. She's really not she's not a real Democrat in the old populist sense. She's not. If this were 1970 or we're looking at Hillary and you didn't know what she was, you'd swear she was a Republican. There is no way you would even look at her as being a liberal from that, like the Bernie Sanders type liberal, which was of that day.
Here's the thing with me personally. There's too many issues that you're never going to agree with someone on everything. Liberal or conservative, it's impossible. But what it does boil down for me, and I think for a lot of Americans, is, can I trust you? Will you be a great leader? Will you be a great commander-in-chief? And the problem I find with both of these candidates is they're not trustworthy. I can't envision them being commander-in-chief, and I think they're both corrupt. And regardless of any policy issues, if you just can't relate to someone's character, I think you have a problem. But hey, these are the two candidates. All right, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing we have to deal with. So the reality is, Hillary got somebody who's like her. So what she's betting on is the fact that she's going to be able to capture some of those more moderate conservatives to her side, and that's what she's counting on, as opposed to counting on potentially the Hispanic vote. She's counting mostly on the fact of hoping that she's going to get the moderate Republicans to go on her side. And she may well be able to pull it off, because he's got her VP candidate does have good relationships with some of those states where the swing states. So if that happens, she may be able to pull it off. What's going to really be interesting is when it gets to the debates, though. This is where I think you're going to see Trump, I don't see him doing well on this. I just, if she manages to push his button at all, he's going off script, and then
that's his only opportunity to do well. Yeah. And if he can do well there, he could have a chance. If he doesn't, then I think Hillary wins. But you know what? We didn't bring a crystal ball, but I appreciate you having us out here. Great area of San Diego. This is where a lot of political talk happens, but there's a lot of people out here getting work done.
Come on out to the spots and have a coffee and talk politics. Let's go.
Have a grape cane sugar.
I know.
All right, man.
Cheers,
thanks for having us out here.
Good to see you, man.
And we'll keep this thing going with you.
Yeah.
So that was Lestat's with political professor Rick Epps. It's such a cool part of San Diego. Obviously a lot of culture out here in the Normal Heights area. Now let's go check out another one of our markets here in America's finest city.
Hi, I'm Jem Morris, and this is Lifestyle San Diego. Today we're taking you to Old Poway Park to meet with relocation specialist and real estate expert Jessica Foote. Old Poway Park is a focal point for the city of Poway. It features the famous family-owned restaurant Hamburger Factory, the Poway Heritage Museum, and a vintage 1907 Baldwin steam locomotive that comes to life every Saturday morning at the weekly Poway Farmers Market. I'm here with real estate expert Jessica Foote in the heart of Poway. We are in the gazebo in the Old Poway Park. Is that where we are?
Yes, exactly.
Tell us a little bit about this area. It's beautiful.
Isn't it? This area is really special. It's where the farmers markets are located every Saturday, and you'll see that it's a community hub, basically. So every Saturday you'll see people coming to the farmers market, grabbing local produce, and catching up with friends and neighbors.
Tell us a little bit about the surrounding area. I know we're in the center of Poway, but Poway has so much to offer. It's such a dynamic area.
It is. So Poway is best known for its school district. It is ranked in the state. Many of the schools are in the top 10 list for the state of California. So it's a little hidden gem within the state of California.
And you also have another slogan for Poway. Is it
It's the city in the
city
country.
In the country.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Well, Poway is local to San Diego. It's its own city, but it does have a country feel. People are a little bit more laid back. Lots tend to be larger than they are in other areas of San Diego, and so you feel like you're in the country, but you're still within the city.
And it's a little bit less expensive than being in the city or being, on the coast,
yes.
But you still get that luxury lifestyle.
Absolutely. I like to call it affordable luxury.
Affordable luxury.
Yes. You can get a lot of bang for your buck here in Poway. Again, there are larger homes, larger lots for a good price.
You mentioned the school district. I'm sure that's a huge draw for so many families. Is Poway really family-centric?
It is. There are lots of activities to do with kids. In fact, there's too much to do.
It's hard to
be busy
choose.
every weekend, but they bring in snow during the holidays and have holiday events. They have here in Old Poway, they have a hobo camp out for the kids, and they do s'mores and hot chocolate. There's just so much to offer here. During the summer, they have summer camps at Lake Poway and other areas in Poway.
And it's not just families that are drawn here. I heard that there's some other VIPs.
Yes, so Poway is a nice private area to get away, and many of our clients who are athletes and executives, they like to tuck away and live the good life here in Poway.
And you do specialize in serving those clients?
I do, yes.
As well as relocation?
Absolutely. So we specialize in helping people who are relocating here to San Diego, and oftentimes they end up in Poway.
You are a San Diego native, which is so crazy. I feel like I don't meet that many, but
Yes.
not just you, almost every single person on your team is.
Yes, exactly. And the reason for that is we feel as though in order to be relocation experts, we have to really know and live and love the areas that we work in and serve.
So being the San Diego native that you are, I have to ask you, what is your favorite thing about San Diego and what is your favorite thing about Poway?
Sure. So my favorite thing about San Diego is actually the Mexican food.
That's a good one.
I can't deny it. We have the best Mexican food
It's true.
in all of the country, and margaritas too.
Oh yeah, those help. Those help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And in Poway specifically?
I love that Poway is a small city that's close to all of the major freeways, so I can zip around, I can get to the beach, I can get downtown, but it is self-contained. We have so many places to shop. We have sports teams here. There's just so much to do, and I can stay here local and get everything done. So.
And you mentioned local, but you were an international realtor at one time.
Yes, and still I just referred a transaction to someone who, or to another agent who sells in Italy. And
So you're still involved in that
I'm
a little
still
bit?
very much involved in international real estate as I can be. I used to work at Pacific Sotheby's International Realty and had some clients that moved in from Canada, among many other countries.
You are a woman that wears many hats.
Thank you.
I know that you and your team are active on social media. You have a great blog on your website, a beautiful website as well.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about, your Instagram account, your Facebook account, because it's not just about houses, it's not just about the market. You
No.
guys go into the community.
Yes, we do. And it's all about exposing the lifestyle. So whenever you're buying a house or choosing a place to live, you want to love where you live. That's my common hashtag, is love where you live.
Love where you live?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely. So I like to share, and my team also, we all like to share glimpses of what we love about living in Poway and here in San Diego.
I know that you work with so many high-profile clients. Do you have any good juicy stories you can tell us?
I can share some details.
All right.
So one secret about our team is that whenever new coaches come into town for the Chargers, they tend to give us a call. So most recently we worked with 2 of the newest coaches, which was such an honor.
How exciting.
It was really fun, and they had families, and so they ended up in the Poway district.
In the Poway
And we
district.
showed them different areas, and we try to match families with the best area for them. But it was really special to work with those clients.
That's amazing. I don't think many people would realize that Poway would be where some of these high-end clients would want to end up.
Absolutely. There's just so much to offer here, and you can get a great bang for your buck. And a lot of these clients have houses in other areas, so it's a no-brainer for them.
And they want to be in the fantastic school district.
Exactly.
I know that you have an incredible listing, an example of a listing that you can show us in Poway. We can see, what the high-end luxury market looks like here in Poway. Tell us about this property.
Yes, so this property we recently listed. Our clients were moving out of town, and the property was a solar property. It actually was rebuilt after fire, and it's located within the Poway district along a canyon near a lake, and it's absolutely stunning.
We just heard from real estate expert and relocation specialist Jessica Foote about what makes Poway such a desirable community.
All right, here we are out in East County, an amazing market here in San Diego. We're going to go inside and we're going to visit with Lyle and Grace. These are iconic names in real estate. We're going to learn all the cool things happening in this marketplace, the social scene, the restaurants, all the fun stuff happening with schools and events. So let's go check out what they have to say about East County. So here we are with the iconic Lyle and Grace. I think that is a brand that people know around San Diego for real estate, and we're also in an iconic restaurant here in East County. Nikki Rotten, thanks for inviting us out here, Lyle and Grace.
Welcome.
So you guys have done some amazing things in real estate, but I think it's important that we let our audience know your story. You've been in East County for 49 years. So if there's anyone giving an opinion on the market, I think he's earned the recognition. So tell us about your history here.
Well, I got to tell you, East County is just an amazing place, Craig. I've enjoyed it always. I mean, not only the real estate market, but the people, just coming out, the people are a very family-oriented community. And we have a lot going on. I have 3 wonderful golf courses. I mean, there's so much to like. I mean, I love it because I wake up to sunshine every single day. I mean, how much better is it getting that?
Yeah, it's not bad. And you guys, husband and wife team, how's that work?
Great. Great.
You have to boss him around? Is that the deal?
No, I think we've just always worked as a team, and we kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and sometimes his ideas are better than mine, and sometimes mine ideas are better than his.
Now, that's a good marriage, is that right?
Well, yeah, that's right. And don't forget, it was Grace before Lyle. When we got into the business, we says, well, hey, maybe we should just do Lyle and Grace.
Well, one of the fascinating things about Grace is that you actually have a background on the finance side of things. And I think that's instrumental to being a great realtor, that many don't have that skill set, because it's one thing to find someone's dream home. It's another thing to get the money for it. So how applicable is that when you're helping someone like a first-time home buyer?
It's really, really helpful. One, I've been in the trenches with being a first-time home buyer myself. I speak Spanish, so it helps a lot as well. I think knowing the finance side, my feeling is people buy payment, not house. So until they really know what their payment is, they really can't shop for that home. So I think putting that into perspective, we're able to answer questions right away for our clients versus bouncing them off to somebody else. So we kind of consider ourselves as a one-stop shop. Even though we refer our business to our loan officer, we feel that's very helpful.
And how important is your team that surrounds you guys? In real estate, you guys are the hub of the wheel. You have title, escrow, mortgage. I mean, if you want to go even more in depth, financial planning, tax planning, estate planning. How important is the team to your guys' business?
It's critical. If you don't have a good team around you, it's just not going to work. It's a marriage. Yeah. The people Grace and I have been blessed to be around with our whole career, they've been wonderful. And we're adding new things as technology and things change in our business. We're advancing into that and going to the professionals to help us continue the success that we've had in the business.
Well, let's talk a little bit more in depth about East County, the social scene, the restaurants. I mean, here we are in Nikki Rotten's. This, I think, originated downtown, right?
Downtown and then Coronado, and then now they have the one out here in Rancho San Diego. Nikki runs this one, and it's phenomenal, man. They got a great stinky burger, man. It's cool.
Yeah, I've actually had this. I think everybody knows Nikki Rotten's maybe had this stinky burger. But what about other things you like out here? I mean, if someone was looking to move their family, you've referenced family multiple times now, to just enjoy East County, what are some of the things you recommend as far as social scene, other farmers markets, restaurants, and what are some of the things you guys, I mean, you work, live, and play out here, so what do you guys do?
I love it. There's so much to do in East County. I mean, for the kids, family, I mean, or even just couples and even seniors. We have great senior assisted living programs out here for people. We have, great for the young couples and the, mid-range and older. We got wonderful hiking. We got wonderful walking trails, biking trails. You got to see the guys that come out in there in their bikes and the mountain bikes, the cyclers. I mean, they have wonderful things to do. The YMCA over here. Have you seen the YMCA here in Rancho San Diego in East County? If I had this as a kid, we'd be like, whoa. I mean, it's a state-of-the-art facility over here at YMCA. McGrath YMCA, you ought to look it up. It is great for the kids, great for the community. And restaurants? I mean, everybody says, Lyle, you got to go downtown. I'm all, why do I need to go downtown? I got it all right here. Yeah. I mean, really, we have Sahara Grill over here. Las Parias, if you like your Mexican food, which I do. Obviously, look at me. I go there all the time. The Mexican food is there, I would say, some of the top in the county. So, coming out and enjoying Nikki Rodden, Sahara Grill, Las Parias, Arrivederci Italian out here, we have a great assortment of food out here that the people like, and the shopping is just unbelievable too. I mean, we got all the shopping you're going to need right here. Several different grocery stores, Ralph's. I mean, they're all within minutes from you.
So you guys have been married for quite some time. You make a very dynamic real estate team. If he were going to take you out on a date one night, where are some good restaurants in your opinion?
We like Nicky Rotten's just because it's really casual. I don't, like to really go far. I like to be close to home. A lot of it is we would like to be close to the office, so if we have to meet a client, we don't want to be too far away, and we like to check on some of our properties as well. But if we're not here, we're downtown eating.
So some of the properties you guys are listing right now, what are the price ranges? If somebody wanted to look into buying out in East County, first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, I know you guys represent a lot of the high-end. You're kind of known for that out here. So what kind of ranges? How do we get into the game if we're interested in buying out here?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, we got a great entry level. We have all different levels, from the $200,000 condos all the way up to the multi-million-dollar estates. And I think that, we have a great, diverse people around here. We got families that want to stay here. I mean, we get people moving up right here instead of going to other areas. For example, I just sold a family, a home for like $1.7 million out here, and it was wonderful. But their kids just bought a home for $350,000, all in this neighborhood.
Oh, in the same neighborhood.
Same area.
So what does $1.7 million buy you in East County?
I'll tell you, I got quite a few, and you'll see it here pretty soon, I'm sure. It's a beautiful 4,500 to 5,000 square feet. It's going to get you an amazing home on the golf course here at either Steel Canyon, which is a wonderful golf course community. Yeah, it's an amazing golf course. We got Silverado, where Saquon Golf Course is. We have other wonderful homes, which are more in that $700,000 to $850,000, $900,000 range. And then we got wonderful entry-level homes, which I would consider to be around that $400,000 to $550,000, which would be Cottonwood, which is an amazing, amazing area for people with parks around it for children. It's a great area for people to move up as they grow in their lives.
Right, and I think it's a fascinating story. You actually help parents sell a home in the same neighborhood that their kids actually bought.
Yeah.
You mentioned golf. That kind of speaks my language. I mean, we're sitting here on Cottonwood's golf course in Nicky Rotten's. A pretty fascinating view we have. What about people that have families, the school districts? Are there good schools out here?
Wow.
Yes, we have two great high schools here locally. Actually, they're probably within 2 miles away, Valhalla and Steel Canyon. Our son actually graduated from Steel Canyon. We also have private schools really close by, which our daughters graduated from a private school, Christian High. Our elementary schools are great. Middle school, all of our kids went to the middle school here.
Hillsdale Middle School
Middle.
and Vista Grande Elementary and Hamishaw Elementary and Fuerte, really good schools.
Well, I appreciate you guys having us out here. What I really want our audience to know is that often in real estate, you'll meet a top producer that isn't necessarily the funnest to be around, or you meet someone that's fun to be around, isn't necessarily the authoritative expert on a market. Lyle and Grace, they are iconic names. They do a tremendous book of business, but this is their marketplace. They do more business than anyone else, and they obviously know the market really well. Born and raised here, been married here for, I think, a couple decades is what I've heard.
Little time.
Raised some great kids. So you guys have a fascinating story. I appreciate you sharing it with us today, learning about East County. So let's take it back to the show. So we just learned a lot about East County from the icons of real estate, Lyle and Grace. They're great people, and they're also just dominating the real estate market. Great people to connect with if you're buying or selling real estate. Hope you enjoyed what you learned today about East County. Hope you enjoyed the episode today of Lifestyles, and don't forget, you can follow us outside of the show. Just visit us online, follow us on social media. We're out for today, and we'll see you next week.